Welcome to It Happened in Grand Prairie, Texas. And we're bringing you It Happened in Grand Prairie, interviewing people that have been very, very important to the history of Grand Prairie in the past. And some of them are even making history today. And we have one of the most illustrious people in Grand Prairie, Texas, to bring you for this history tape, number 636. It is the very Honorable First Lady of the city of Grand Prairie, Texas, Mrs. Charles B. Janice England. Now, how you like that for a title, my dear?
That's wonderful. Thank you, Miss Ruthie, for having me.
Oh, we're just so delighted that you could come and be with us today, because you are the one when it comes to a holiday ornament for the city of Grand Prairie, Texas, from its very origination back in 2004. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes, it is. It's an honor for me to have done that. And
All
it was
right.
actually at Tom Hart, our city manager's idea, and he allowed me to put it in action, so
Yes.
it's really been a pleasure, and I just hope that every year can be better in the sales proceeds that we give to the Lone Star Charitable Foundation, which
Oh, that's really wonderful, because they give all of their money back to all of the charities in the city.
exactly.
Oh, that is great. Wonderful. Before we get into that, if you'll hold on to this year's ornament, which is ornament number 6.
Correct.
I need to talk a little bit about the real Janice England.
Oh, that might be
And go back a little bit in time, because you're really historical to Grand Prairie, even though you think you're 18 still.
Right.
It's wonderful. Janice, you had 2 wonderful parents that came to Grand Prairie, Texas. I believe from the Hamilton County area
That's
of
correct.
Texas.
That's
Isn't
That's
that good?
correct.
And
Mr. Jackson, Vernon Jackson, and I share
Oh, yes.
a hometown, from where we were born.
Oh, that is wonderful.
Hamilton, Texas.
I understand that between you and Mr. Jackson and all of the powers that be, all of the important people that come from Hamilton County have declared that the most genius people and the smartest people in the world come from Hamilton County. Did that originate from you or Mr. Jackson or someone else that came from Hamilton County?
Well, I'm sure Mr. Jackson made an impression on somebody important that he is.
To make
he's
that statement.
Definitely, yes. Yes,
Tell me about
yes.
your parents.
My parents were James Jackson, known as Jay Wagoner, and Nadine Kirk Wagoner, which is my mother's maiden name is our son's name.
Yeah.
And we came here. They brought me here, for which I'm so grateful,
Yes,
because
and we are too.
I still love Hamilton, but I love Grand Prairie, and
Yeah.
I've been here since they came for North American. It's so many. The beginning of Grand Prairie, really. Not
North
the
American
beginning,
Aviation,
but
the
yeah,
first big
exactly.
plant that we had here in the vicinity.
Correct. And they bought a home in Fairview on Pine Street, and we lived there until my dad was Texas Electric after the North American, and mother worked at Texas Electric also.
That was wonderful.
Yes, and he was transferred to Wichita Falls, and then they came back here and retired here, because
But you
they
stayed all of those
I stayed
years.
all those years.
Yes.
They left the year that Charlie and I married,
And I believe that you married the most handsome man
I
at
did.
Gopherland at the Grand Prairie High School.
Exactly.
He's in the yearbook as the most handsome and all of the good
correct.
things.
That's correct.
And you've raised a wonderful family here.
Thank you.
Name your
Well,
children.
I'm proud of them. Our oldest is Rhonda Barhorst, and she's in Spring. She wishes she were in Grand Prairie. But
And that's near
she's-
Houston, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it's in Houston, actually. And she's married to Mark Barhorst. They have 2 children, our oldest and youngest grandchildren.
Name them.
Clayton Mark Barhorst is 26, and he's in medical school at A&M, Texas A&M. And our granddaughter is 19, and that's Jana Barhorst, and Jana Renee, and she is at A&M also.
Good.
And they enjoy being there together. And of course,
that is great.
Mark's a doctor. They have their own pain clinic in Spring, just real near their home. And
Now that's
Rhonda
one.
manages it, right. And then the second born is Kirk Thompson, England. His name is derived from my mother's maiden name, and Frank Thompson, who Charlie was raised by here in
And since
Grand
that's my
Prairie.
maiden name, I claim him
That's
as
exactly
part
right.
of my family.
Right,
Go
right,
ahead.
and
Yeah.
that's a good thing. So.
Frank
And I
didn't
claim Mr. Jackson too, because my
yes.
dad was James Jackson Wagner.
Yes.
So anyway, and he's married to Marcy Gaines, England, and England. It is England, and they have 2 sons. We are so very proud of.
Yes.
As we are all of them,
Yeah.
but they're both
military
honored,
men, aren't they?
exactly,
Yes.
and serving us, Homeland Security. They were fortunate to be and work hard to get the appointment to the Coast Guard Academy.
Yes.
So Charlie was graduated there last year, and he's now stationed in Norfolk, Virginia.
Oh, good.
Yes, he's at sea right now. He's out in the waters right now on the boat. And
Since he's graduated, what about Sam?
Sam is playing football still at the academy, and
What is classification?
he is a senior this year.
Oh,
Yes, a senior this year. So we'll not be making as many trips to Connecticut for a while, but we have, Charlie and I have made many.
and he's playing
trips.
football. What part does he play?
Wide receiver, and we went to New York City last weekend, Miss Ruthie, to see him play the Merchant Marine Academy. So it was very heartwarming because we were there. Friday was 9/11
Yes.
in New York City, and the flags, it just was
Wonderful.
so, yes, it was, I mean, still unbelievable that it could happen, the 9/11.
How many more games does he have?
Oh, he has 7 more games. That was their first.
Yeah.
And they just play 8 games, so he has 7 left. And
You're going to have to buy the American Airlines or one of these airlines if you go back there 7 times for all of his games. But don't you want to go to all?
oh, we do, and of course we watch them on the computer.
Yes.
When
When
they
you
do
can't go.
when we can't go, and it's we've enjoyed it so much. He caught 2 passes, one for a touchdown this last weekend.
Oh,
So he just needs 28 more to set a record at the academy for the most passes. So
well, he has
receive.
such a very, very exciting personality. I interviewed him here on television, about 8 or 10 years ago, when he was a senior in school here. And he is a tremendous person to interview. Just
It
really
is
wonderful.
Such fun.
Charlie's
Thank you.
very reserved, but Sam is outgoing.
Total opposites.
Yes, outgoing. Well, now that you have all of that planned, you going to see him this next week?
We're not going to be there this weekend. They play out of town this weekend, but we're going the next weekend. The 24th we'll be there. So
Well, Godspeed on your trip and all the
Thank
good
you.
fun that you have with that
wish you could
grandson.
go with us.
Oh, thank you very much. Now, anything else that you want to talk about being the First Lady of Grand Prairie? Isn't it wonderful?
It's an honor.
Isn't it an honor?
It's truly an honor.
And he has been such a wonderful mayor.
Well, thank you. I tell him he's the best mayor I've ever had. So,
Makes him feel real special. doesn't
he is special. Yes, he is. So he loves Grand Prairie. I love Grand Prairie, and we just couldn't be more blessed and honored than to.
Tell us about all of this history of this wonderful, wonderful holiday ornament.
It's been such fun, and we.
When did
just
you begin it?
We started the first one was in 2004.
All right.
And that was the year the Breeders' Cup in Grand Prairie, so which was such a big thing here. And we had our grandson is gifted with art and
Which grandson?
That's the oldest one, Clayton, who's
Clayton.
in medical school.
Okay.
He also loves music,
An art.
medical, art, just writing, everything.
Oh, how wonderful.
So he designed it for me, I just told him what I wanted to put in.
And he did the designing of number
He
one.
did it in just like 30 minutes, and we submitted it to the company.
That builds them.
Yeah, Chemart, right, that makes them and makes them also for the state and the United States, the White House, so they did it exactly like he had drawn it, and we just were so proud of it. And then the next one was in 2005, and it's the I Love Grand Prairie. And that year we love Grand Prairie every day, every day of every year. But,
that's the reason you put a great big heart in it.
Yes, yes.
Oh, how wonderful. Did you design that one?
Well, Amy and myself, and we kind of were using
your
as
little
a
committee.
city. Yeah, right.
Good.
And then the next one was the Starry Night. That was in 2006, I believe. And then in 2007, we had Merle Clark, who is a talented artist in Grand Prairie, one of our very own, designed it for the Uptown Theater. And of course, longtime Pat Watson, Meager Watson, and Donna Meager Watson. Donna was in my class, Pat was in my sister's class, and they've been here forever. We all, Charlie and I went to the Uptown, and we were just so proud of it, and the sales were really good on it. And then last year was Prairie Lights in 2008, and Prairie Lights are so wonderful. We have people tell us from everywhere,
from many states.
Right, and it just gets bigger and better every year. It just amazes me. I want to go every day, while it's on, and I believe that starts December the 10th. Is that right, Miss Ruthie?
I don't know the
I
date.
think December the 10th through December the 30th, I believe. No, that's the Rockettes. I'm sorry. That's the Rockettes are going to be here. So I think it must start about Thanksgiving.
Now tell me about 2009.
2009 was a very big year because it's historically, it's our 100th anniversary.
100th anniversary.
And thanks to Miss Ruthie, she has documented the history and knows so much about Grand Prairie, everything. If I want to know anything, I'll ask you, Ruthie. So, since North American was so...
I want you to hold that up really wonderfully so that
this is
the Master Don can get a photograph of this.
Yes.
And hold it very still for him, because that is beautiful. And while you're holding it there, would you tell us who gave you the idea for doing the Corsair of LTV for this year's 100th anniversary for the city of Grand Prairie, Texas?
Well, we thought it was so important because the aircraft business in Grand Prairie was so important, to this really the big jump start for Grand Prairie.
The growth of Grand Prairie began with North American aviation.
Exactly, and it's still out there. The F4U Corsair. Actually, the P-51 was the start. Was
that's the
first
one your
built.
parents worked on.
Yes,
isn't it?
exactly.
And
you and Mr. Jackson also, I believe.
Oh, and Frank Thompson.
Yes,
he was the head, one of the head
exactly.
inspectors.
Yes, he was.
Of the AT-6 aircraft and the P-51.
Exactly.
Oh, he was a mean rascal. He would come down through the department, and you would think you're going to sell this wing without any hassle. Frank would come in and said, "Who riveted this? Who inspected this?" And he really made those guys work really hard for perfection.
Exactly, which
Because
was
Frank
so important.
Yes, Frank was very important as an inspector. I called him the Inspector General because he was a big man on campus.
Well, he was a fine person, fun,
Yes,
but
he was.
very, like you say, perfection.
Yeah.
So, and we just thought to honor
The
the aircraft industry, yes, and the 100 years that it has continued and kept Grand Prairie going,
Yeah.
you know. So it's Celebrating a Century is the name of it.
Okay, now,
And
how do I get one of these?
these are available at the Tourist Center on Beltline for $15 and also at City Hall. And if anybody has any organization or whatever that would like to sell them, I'll be glad to bring them, you know, and we can sell them because it does go to a good, you know, to Lone
Wonderful.
Star
Foundation.
Charitable Foundation, which then goes to the United Charities in
Now,
Grand Prairie.
There's no tax on that. That includes the tax
That's
and everything.
it. Uh-huh.
Since
right.
we're a nonprofit.
Right. $15 for this one. Or if you haven't started the collection or you're missing any in the collection, you can start your own little tree. I have a tree that I got at Target in Grand Prairie, Texas, you know, that little brass tree that I put the state ornaments and the city ornaments, you know, in the United States. And all of these 5 previous ones are available also at the Tourist Information Center and City Hall for $10. So you really get a bargain. If you haven't gotten any of them, you can get all of them for $65. So, and they make a wonderful Christmas gift. I give them, you know, I feel like I'm doing a good thing because I'm making a contribution.
Well, I think that would
Plus
make a nice
gift.
birthday gift.
Yes,
for
right. It's
anything.
not just a holiday. You know, you
Yeah.
can just keep them up all the time because they are wonderful.
Well, there's some people that are just so experimental with these things that they take them and they put it on a loop and they wear it around their neck
Yes.
on television or wherever they're going
Yes.
for an appropriate season. It's a wonderful thing.
That's
yes.
true.
And then if you can ever just find you some that just sort of match it, you can have the earrings to match, can't you?
That'd be right. You can see Mr. Yeager.
See, Mr. Yater, the jeweler.
Right,
That's
right.
wonderful.
Right.
Well, of all of the things that you've ever done for the city of Grand Prairie, I think this is one of the most outstanding. Now, you drove for the Red Cross for how many years?
I did. Until it, you know, till it was over, yeah.
Yes.
So about, when did we take it on? I started when the city took it on.
Took it
you
on
know,
as a project.
And then until it
Until we
went-
got the transportation
Right,
for the
exactly,
senior citizens
right.
and everything, yes.
So, but I enjoyed, you know, anything I can do for people is my pleasure. You know, that's what I get the most pleasure in life. You know, I've been given so much for which I'm so
Yeah.
grateful, and I
Now,
want to give back.
you have a wonderful home here in Grand Prairie, but you have a lake house.
Yes, we do.
Oh, tell
Yes,
us
we
about
do.
your lake house. Is that something that really takes you out of the hard transit, doing all of the things by rituals? When you get down there, can you just lay back and relax?
It does. We really do enjoy it, and our kids and grandkids have really enjoyed it, and that's what makes us enjoy it even more. And you know, we just relax, truly relax. I mean, cooking is relaxing to me, you know, and Charlie loves to get on the mower and just, I mean, I do have somebody do it for him, you know, in the week, during the week and when we can't, but he'll still just get out on the mower.
He likes
and
to be a
yes,
part
he
of it,
does.
doesn't he?
Yes, he does. So, and I love flowers, and he says I get out of the car with my watering bucket. They don't understand why I do a bucket instead of the water hose, but
Yeah.
it's
easier.
and I enjoy the plants, you know.
Yes.
So.
You talk to the plants, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, yes, yes.
Now, I know year before last, I believe, you were honored by one of the most outstanding groups here in Grand Prairie, and that was the Lifeline Shelter for Homeless Boys and Girls for the Grand Prairie ISD.
That was
Now-
such an honor, such an honor. So,
That was tremendous.
I just
I
really.
thought that was a salute to the First Lady that was, if you've received lots of other awards, I know, but to
that
me,
was very, very special. It really was. I can't even begin. You know, I was just taken back. You know, being an honorary. It really was. You know,
Yes.
Georgia and
The honorary
Jackson.
chairman of the whole
Yes,
affair.
exactly, exactly.
That was
And we
wonderful.
had made a lot of money that day too. I think.
yes, that did help, didn't
it did.
Now, of all of the things that have happened in your life. Your husband has been the mayor, but that's not all he's been. He has been on the school board. Yes. He's been president of the school board, and he played in what was then the Gopher Bowl, which is now the Gopher Warrior Bowl, for the very first game.
Yes, we
in
did.
1956-57 year of the schools. And not only that, he helped me make a 40th anniversary documentary of the Gopher Bowl as it still was then, and we have that on record. And he was my master of ceremonies and did some wonderful, wonderful things for the schools. So, you know, he's double dipped.
Yes.
He's double dipped into the schools and has a real good track record with that, and was a marvelous member of the board then and did lots of things. And then he transferred his allegiance over to the other part of Grand Prairie to become the mayor. What do you think about him being the mayor?
I think he's a wonderful mayor. He says I'm prejudiced, but I think if I were just not his wife, I would still be proud of him, and
yes.
he makes me proud every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's the best mayor.
Yeah, he was elected in what, 1991? 92? 92 until now.
Right.
And he's only 70 because he just celebrated his 70th.
That's right.
And I went on the council when I was 65, so he's got lots more time left. Are you going to let him run again?
Oh, I would love for him to run again. You know,
that keeps him busy and out of your hair, doesn't it?
Well, he enjoys it.
Yes, he does.
He enjoys it. And like I said, he loves Grand Prairie. I mean, he gets a lot more out of it than anybody can even imagine, you know. And he loves going to the schools and talking to the kids.
Yes, he does, and they love him coming.
Loves it, yes. And the letters they send back are so warm, and it just really, he just loves everything that he does, you know, with any way he can help anybody in Grand Prairie. He gets so much out of it, you know. So.
Well, as his mayor pro tem a couple of years ago, he couldn't go to something because they sent him to Washington, and I went to that meeting for him. They had a huge, huge cardboard sign, even bigger than these big checks, you know, when they write a check, says, "Dear Mayor, we are so glad you're here." And I was standing up there and I said, the mayor is so glad that he's in Washington doing great things for the city of Grand Prairie, Texas, but he's going to really love that. I took that huge card back to City Hall, and we put it in front of the dais when we had our next council meeting, because those kids had worked on it, and 3 classes had signed it.
Isn't that
and
wonderful?
All of the students had signed, and it was
that
certainly
means
a tribute
so much.
to him.
Yes, yes, it does. And you are such a great mayor pro tem, Miss Ruthie.
Well, I love my new title.
I do too.
Isn't that
the
good?
Very first deputy
MPT.
mayor. Yes, exactly right. The honorable. Yes.
Oh, that is so fun, because then we have a new mayor pro tem that can go with the mayor because of his eyesight is having a little problem at this time. And now he can take the new mayor pro tem with him that can help him read, can help him do anything he needs to do, because little old ladies that are 88 can't travel all of that time. So that's wonderful. Thank y'all for coming up with that.
Oh, well, we love it.
Yes,
you know, it's just been so great.
Well, what are you going to do with the rest of your life?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, you're still going to support one of the finest families that Grand Prairie has ever had.
That's my most, you know, I get more out of that than anything, you bet. You know, I just look forward to the next thing.
Do you belong to any clubs?
The Women's Club I belong to.
Good.
And I have, you know, forever, ever since there was a Women's Club. And First Methodist Church.
First United Methodist. And your son helped build that youth center.
Yes,
that
he
youth
did.
building is fantastic.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Right. And Charlie and I were, I believe, the last wedding at the old First Methodist Church.
Right,
the one on
so
the
beautiful.
corner. I know.
Wasn't that gorgeous?
I wish they had left it.
Yes. I wish that they had too, but we can't preserve everything.
I know. Mm-hmm.
Well, I want you to look out into your camera that says guest there, and I want you to invite everyone to get all of these ornaments, one ornament or some ornament, and give it to someone on this 100th birthday of the corporate city of Grand Prairie, Texas, just says, we're giving you this because we're celebrating our 100th anniversary, and we want you to have something to help us remember all of the years, but especially this 2009 birthday.
Exactly.
Would you do that?
Oh, Miss Ruthie, you can say it so much better than I can, but it really is would make anybody, I think, happy to receive this as a gift. And I know everybody has somebody special that they would love to make happy and to enjoy for so long. And you'd be helping so many others, you know, by the charitable donation you're making. And it would make us happy too, right?
Yes, it really would.
$15 at the tourist center or City Hall. And we just are so grateful to have the opportunity to make these available. And for you to make it available for somebody else. So,
and $15 is just
right.
a wonderful price for that.
Gift for
Yes.
$15.
Yes.
So thank you, Miss Ruthie, for having me. It's always such an honor. You know, just you're a special lady.
Well,
Lady.
I want to thank you so very much for taking the time this morning to come and do that. It's a tribute to the city of Grand Prairie, Texas, to have a lady that has a heart for Grand Prairie, for boys and girls, for all of the good things, all of the things that happen in Grand Prairie, Texas. You're behind a lot of it that makes suggestions and innuendos to the mayor and cause us to have great things happen in Grand Prairie, Texas.
You're very kind. And I am on the board at the Boys and Girls Club, which I love being associated with the boys and girls. You know, it's not about me, it's about our city and our mayor and you and all our wonderful staff. And we appreciate all of it so much. So.
And we'd like to thank Mr. Don Johnson for allowing us to take this special session on a day that is not our regular session.
Exactly. Thank you, Don, and he does such a great job on the council meetings, everything he does.
Well,
very talented.
History of our city, and we're just so proud of it, and history as we live and do, and we document it each time as correctly as possible. And want to thank you for being here, and thank you for watching our show. Thank you for being a great part of Grand Prairie that cares about the history of Grand Prairie. And God bless America, and God bless Grand Prairie on its birthday.